and welcome to the Whisky.com news on the 5th of June 2022. First up we start with Scotland. And there is a new Glen Moray out, and it's actually a core range, and it's called Twisted Vine. And that is an homage to the cognac casks that are used as cognac is made out of wine, that is twisted wine, the vine actually where the wine grows. Strange word, strange sentence. So it's in the core range, 40% ABV and matured in cognac casks. Next up is the Lochlea Distillery. It's recently the new one from the lowlands, and they're bringing their first cask strength whiskey to the market. It's the cask strength batch number 1, 60.1% ABV. It's a combination between first fill, ex-bourbon and oloroso casks. Next up is the Witchburn Distillery, and if you don't know the distillery, they are actually a new distillery that is planned on the peninsula Campbeltown. Kintyre, and that is the city of Campbeltown. So the old city of Campbeltown, where there have been like 30 or more whiskey distilleries, is getting a new distillery, and this is all planned by the bottler Brave New Spirits. They actually want to do something a bit bigger. They actually want to do 2 million liters of alcohol per year. That's 16 wash bags and 4 stills. And they actually got a name in the industry, Andrew Nairn, who wants to be then the master distiller there. And he has already been the distillery manager at Glen, Strathmill and Borders Distillery. Probably also distillery master distiller there, so he knows his stuff probably very well. And given that they get the permission to build, they actually want to start production at the end of 2024. That would be a great thing. Hopefully everything turns out all right. Next up is the Glenturret, and they are bringing out a new bottle, and yes, it's one of these very, very, very high expensive bottles. It's called 8 Decades, and it's an homage to the American artist James Turrell. He's turning 80, so this bottle is for him. And this is kind of a lot from the distillery Art and Turrell, who actually bought Glenturret. And they are Swiss, and they have that special bottling and special bottles. And they will actually take whiskey from 8 casks from the years 1987 to 1998. And this bottling then stands for the 8 Decades of James Turrell, therefore 80 bottles, and yes, it will cost £80,000. So as I've said in the beginning, a lot of money. I love Harris. I've done that on the tour, the last tour, and actually when I was there, I was like already talking about them. Hey, are you coming out in 2023 with your whiskey? And they were like, we're not saying anything. And now they actually said something, and they're planning their first release of their whiskey on the 23rd of September 2023. And that's actually the birthday of the distillery as well, and it's actually their 8th birthday. So now I'm not coming out with a very, very young whiskey. They do already have some of the a bit older stuff as well, and the first bottling will be called the Harach, and that's Gaelic for the people who live on Harris. So that really reflects the character of the distillery. As it's a social distillery, it's from the Outer Hebrides, so that will also be inside the bottle, and the bottle design will be from Stranger and Stranger. I'm really excited about what will happen there, because I do know Harris is a distillery to be reckoned with, and I think they have a bright future in front of them. Then we have the United States in the whiskey news, and here we have Jack Daniels, who is enraging their single barrel collection, and the single barrel collection is gonna have the rye whiskey as a cask strength. So the name will be Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye, with a alcohol between 125 and 145 proof. For all of you not Americans, that's like 62.5 to 72.5 ABV. Its mash bill is actually not a secret. Luckily, it's 70% rye, 18% corn, and 12% malted barley. So yeah, fairly strong with the rye, but not in the highest. So sounds like a good mixture. Next up is another rye whiskey, but from Brothers Bond Bourbon. Yeah, they started with the name Brothers Bond Bourbon, and yeah, that was from, as you might know, the Vampire Diaries actors. And yeah, they are now coming out with an Brothers Bond American blended rye with 47.5% ABV. The mash bill is 77% rye, 16% corn, and the rest is wheat and barley. Probably a lot of barley to keep it natural. Then next up is the Wild Turkey Distillery with their brand Russel's Reserve, and the 13 years is coming back. So yeah, it's the oldest within the core range of Russel's Reserve. It's coming back. It came back in 2021, and now it's a yearly limited edition. So it's not like quite core range, but like yearly limited editions. They're quite common within the industry. Also tribute to the legacy and inheritance of Russel's family. 57.4% ABV, and it will cost about $150. Next up, we have the Tennessee Whiskey Distillery, Bibb and Tucker, and they are actually not calling themselves Tennessee, but Bourbon, which they do the Lincoln County process, and they're doing something special now, they are always doing something special. It's the Bibb and Tucker Double Char Bourbon. It's double matured. It's lightly. It's a smoky character, they say. I would like to know add lightly, because they're not smoking their grains, but they're smoking the barrels. So 6 years in normal American white oak, 5 months in finished in heavily charred and smoked new barrels. So I'd really like to know how much smoke they get into the whiskey with these barrels. And there's another thing from the United States. It's Stephan Curry. No, he's not from the whiskey industry, and he is from the basketball scenes, and he's bringing the Gentleman's Cut to the market. It's a 4 times NBA champion. I'm not quite sure how that means, but it sounds impressive. NBA is like the top league, and he's a 4 times champion. So yeah. It comes from the Game Changer Distillery in Kentucky, will be a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, and it is being distilled on 500-gallon copper stills. That is 1,900 liters, which is pretty small. Usually you have like 10 times that size with pot stills in Scotland or something. So very small stills, matured for 5 to 7 years in new make charred oak barrels, and it has an suggested retail price about $80. So that sounds really good, and maybe I'll get something from that, and hopefully, because I'd really like to taste how that actually feels in the glass. Then we have international news. The House of Suntory is celebrating their 100th anniversary. So big celebrations at Suntory. The Yamazaki Distillery was founded 1923 by Shinjiro Tori. And now they're celebrating actually with Keanu Reeves and Sofia Coppola. So they will be like brand leading spokesperson for the brand. They will do documentary films for 2023. There will be special bottlings, Yamazaki 18, Hakushu 18, and they actually have already invested $77 million into Hakushu and Yamazaki, and they will reopen the distillery in fall 2023. So that will be a big celebration, and probably some smaller stuff that didn't make it to the news will also come out during these celebrations. So that's a big thing for the big company of Suntory. That was it with the news. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.